I tried almost everything, so from a software job to a research job in Singapore.
तो इंजीनियरिंग में बीटेक के साथ साथ व्हाट वुड बी द राइट टाइम टू बिगिन द प्रिपरेशन फॉर यूपीएससी?
I took the syllabus. I took a hard copy of the syllabus, and what I did was I listed all the topics.
Hello everyone, I'm B Singh, founder and director of NEXT IAS. You are watching Civil Services 2021 Toppers Talk. With me is Mr. Bhavishya. Bhavishya, congratulations.
Thank you so much, sir.
Bhavishya has secured All India rank 29. Getting 29th rank in civil services is not easy. We all know this is one of the toughest examination of India. And Bhavishya has completed his BTech from IIT Kanpur with computer science, and he opted political science and international relations as the optional. And he comes from Ajmer, Rajasthan, and now he is IAS. So Bhavish, my first question to you is that being an engineer, you decided to go for political science. So what was the reason of choosing the PSIR optional?
So there were multiple reasons. So first, during my final year, I already did elective courses in humanities, especially philosophy and political philosophy. I had a strong interest in international relations, and when I saw the syllabus of PSIR, I thought that already knew the basic concepts, and I really liked the source material and content. So I thought I could do well with PSIR as option. And further, my first choice is IFS, Indian Foreign Service. So that also aligns nicely with my option.
Normally, when engineers are in college, BTech, they normally have a target to go in some good MNCs, especially computer science has got good opportunities in the private sector and in multinational companies. What inspired you to go for civil services? And instead of going for the MNCs, you decided to go in for civil services?
So during my college years, I tried almost everything. So from a software job to a research job in Singapore. Then I also joined a high frequency trading firm in Gurgaon. But then I decided that in long term, I didn't get the job satisfaction, and my interests were beyond that monotonous job. So I thought I'll give the civil services, and then COVID struck. So that then I decided that I should attempt civil services now.
Okay. Normally, students, they think that civil services selection is tough and it will take 3-4 attempts, but you have done it because you are 2022 pass out, 2020 pass out, and in just second attempt you have done it. What was your strategy to crack this in just second attempt, and just you have prepared 1-1.5 years? That's all.
Yes, sir. So my strategy was always keeping everything really simple, using common sense, doing integrated preparation. I only prepared for the mains exam, and prelims was just a side effect. And also, I remained confident in what sources or what I limited the syllabus, and so that I could continue a focused preparation. And I limited my sources. I remained confident in what I knew and try to use that information to the best effect. So I preferred technique and practice and revision over more knowledge or more facts.
Okay. Engineers are more inspired for civil services, and you are one such example, and there are many other examples also. So engineering में BTech के साथ साथ what would be the right time to begin the preparation for UPSC? आपने कब अपनी preparation start की थी? During college time या उसके बाद?
In my case, I didn't start. I started way after completing my full graduation years. So first, I think it depends on each individual. So if you are really decided that you have to give the civil service exam, then maybe you can start the preparation. But I think one should try different fields and different sectors so that so they can at least explore during the college years. And even after the college years, they can give the civil service exam. But it depends on the individual.
Okay. So to begin with, the source of his study, जब कॉलेज में बच्चे होते हैं, when students are in third year or maybe in final year, so what should be the source to start with the preparation?
First, I think I took a handout of the syllabus and the PYQ questions of both mains and prelims of
Okay.
UPSC. And I took the syllabus. I took a hard copy of the syllabus, and what I did was I listed all the topics, and I did it in a Google Doc. So for each keyword, I had all the associated keywords. So I created this long list, and I also got help from other people who have already done this previously. So I created my own list where from PYQs, from syllabus, all the keywords. And I thought, but that this is my syllabus. I have to prepare just this. And and on the side, I kept reading daily newspapers, and that too I did in a very focused way. So what I did was, whenever I saw an article, I used to classify to which part of syllabus does it belong, and how the information, either that information contributes to a concept, to understanding, or that I can directly use in my answer or anywhere else. So I always tried to think where I can use this knowledge, and what is the static knowledge that relates to particular current affair, and um, and how this relates to the adjacent areas. So for example, if there's an article on governor, then I would quickly revise everything about governor, federalism, all the commissions, etc. So I try to do very active reading. So I never read passively any of the news articles. So I used to think what everything is associated with. What are the implications? What is the way that author is thinking, so that I could so, for example, many questions could be answered through an economic thinking, where you can think that there's incentives and people respond to incentives. So, I tried to keep this list of these frameworks. So, that really simplified answer writing for me. So, that was my general strategy. In particular, in terms of books, for economics, I did Vikas Singh's book, and for quality Lakshmikant. Apart from that, I didn't, and the NCRT, especially for geography and history. Apart from that, I didn't do any book thoroughly or seriously. I tried to do for history, but I thought the cost benefit analysis is not that good. So these were the only proper books.
Many students are worried about the current affairs, from which books, from which newspaper, which magazines should refer. So can you suggest some which you opted current affairs magazines and newspapers?
Yes, sir. So from initially, I had this very clear that current affairs is a very minor part, and static would give me marks. So what I thought, whenever I was reading current affairs, I interlinked it with the static portion, and I always kept in mind that I would dedicate 90% of my energy to static, and current affairs would just be the cherry on top, and never run after small facts or small details. And then on even in current affairs, I created a list of priority topics. So which is the most important current affair topic, which is more likely to come in exam, and I only prepared that list. And sometimes I use some of the magazines, but I thought they were just too much. So I just googled the topic. I read related articles in newspaper, or if there's something related, I used to read Wikipedia or any other online website. But I tried to limit my energy on current affairs. After my mains, I tried to read more broadly, and I tried to follow more current affairs, especially state-specific current affairs. And next has also helped me in state-specific details about Rajasthan and current affairs related to Rajasthan. So that was, but my core focus was on static and relating anything that is happening in current to something in static, so that
Okay.
this was easy for me as well as for the examiner, because my answers were more theoretical and static.
So now the marks are available. You must have gone through your marks, and your mark sheet must be with you. So would you like to share your marks of the prelims, mains, and optional and IGP?
Yes, sir. So in my prelims, I think I got 107 points something in paper one. I cannot remember the last. And in the paper two, the qualifying paper in prelims, I think I got something like 118 point something. And in my mains exam, in my optional, I got a total of 251. In essay, I got 141. And in the GS papers, I think 110, 117, 94, and 114, if I remember correctly. And in my interview, I got 188. Uh,
Great.
that,
So this year we have seen cutoff of the prelims is less than the last year, and last year cutoff was lesser than the before last year.
yes, sir.
So the
Yes,
cutoff
sir.
coming down, number of vacancies also were less. What regions you see? What is the reason behind cutoff coming down? Was the paper
Yes,
difficult,
sir.
or it is some other reason?
Yes,
What do
sir.
you
So
think?
definitely, yes, sir. So definitely, prelims paper is becoming fairly difficult. It's over the years, and the paper that I gave in 2021, everyone is saying that this was the most difficult paper in last decade, and I also really felt it because I really did the PYQ, so almost I knew every PYQ of prelims for last 10, 12 years. So and even I thought the paper was really different and difficult, but I already had this in mind that the cutoff would not go beyond 90 or 95. So what I did was I'll try to do attempt as many as possible. I'll try to use best of my knowledge, make efficient use of my knowledge, and I try to make good guesswork. And this during my mock test, I had this strategy very clear that I would attempt 90, 95 plus questions, and I'll try to use guesswork. I'll try to use some part of knowledge to whether if I can eliminate options or so that really helped. So somehow I'll able to.
Good. And I also feel that the CSAT difficulty level is increasing since last 3 years. That also may be one reason many students may not be able to clear the CSAT paper. That may result general studies cutoff coming down. Maybe one of the reasons also that.
Yes, sir.
Uh,
CSET, especially
prelims,
for people who are not from technical backgrounds, can be difficult.
right. Prelims 2022 is just closed. Only few days are left.
Yes, sir.
So I just want to
Yes, sir.
know in those 2 hours when you handle the paper, what things to be
Yes,
kept
sir.
in consideration to avoid any blunders and mistakes? Just 2 hours of exam, how should go best?
Yes, sir. So first, you should not feel underconfident if you think that you have not prepared well or you lack some part of knowledge. I think there's this famous quote in 2017 by a topper that success is inversely proportional to knowledge in UPSC exam. So even freshers who don't have knowledge can clear prelims and even mains. So do not worry, be confident. And on the day of prelims, your success depends on 50% of what you have studied and 50% on how you perform. So if you perform well on that day, you make best use of your knowledge and do not get anxious if you are not able to answer some of the questions or because uh, almost no one is able to answer many of the questions in prelims, but you have to make best of what is given and what you know. So uh, so there are small tricks that almost everyone knows now of eliminating and of guesswork, intelligent guesswork. And you can like if you think that your paper your first 10 questions are very difficult, then you can start the paper from middle or from the end to so that, and you should prioritize your area. So in general, polity and economy are the scoring areas. You should try to get as many as correct. You should try to score that everything that you know you should try to use it and get as many as marks in polity and economy. Then you should go for your advantage. If you know science and technology, then you should try to get advantage in that area. And if you think history you cannot do, then also you should try at least because if out of 10 questions of history, if you can get two or three, that also is a huge plus, especially with a small cutoff. So you should use best, make best of your those 2 hours, and and be really confident because no one is sure whether they will clear prelims or not. So uh, just be confident and use your knowledge of it.
In your opinion, what is the right attempt? Means good attempt. How many questions or marks should one should attempt to be confident for the clearing prelims?
So this really varies. So this every individual has to figure out. So in my case, during my mock test preparation, I had come up to the strategy that in most cases I will try to attempt above 90, and I think in actual exam I did around 95 or 96 questions. So, but this worked for me. In general, your bias should be, especially if you are preparing for a long time, then you should should be biased toward attempting more questions. But this depends. The exact number is depends. So when you're doing your mock test, you can try to come up with this number, whether you'll attempt 80 questions or 85 or 90, 95 or 75. But lower than that, I think it becomes really difficult because even I think UPSC itself demands that you take some educated guess, you use some analytical reasoning because no one actually knows the facts to answer the question. So even I think UPSC itself wants that people to make logical connections, try to eliminate and come to the answer. So the bias should be towards attempting more, but the exact number, whether it's 80 or 85 or 95, that we have to figure out.
Good. And my last question, you was part of the Next IAS and IGP interview guidance. So how was your experience?
Yes, sir. So I gave my interview with the panel. So the panel was of ex-bureaucrats, ex-IAS, IRS, IPS, and it was a really good experience. Actually, they gave me 214 marks in their mock interview. So that really gave me really good confidence. And I thought, okay, now at least I would do at least I'll score above 180 marks in the interview at least. So I got really good, and the interview was also very long, so I could develop that rhythm of mannerisms, of etiquette, how to talk, and the questions were also good. So almost all my hobby-based questions were asked in that interview only. So I mean, I really got tested on my hobbies, on Rajasthan, my state, and that was a really good experience. And they were also actually the interview was also really positive. They were not trying to drill me; they were giving me really good. Uh, that I'm doing well and I would do well. So they were giving me assurances. So this was a really good experience.
Good. So thank you, Bhavish. And your insight will help many aspirants to plan their strategy. And once again, many, many congratulations.
Thank you so much, sir.